Joe, what are you looking for tonight's game?
Well, Keith, it's definitely an exciting evening here. The gym is sold out. You had to get here early. We got in the gym about 6 o'clock here tonight, Keith, and the gym was already sold out. They have almost like a pay-per-view in the cafeteria showing the game on simulcast. What we're looking at here is a battle of two of the top scorers in Section 1. North Salem's Mike DePaoli, with about 20 or more points, Keith, will lead the section in scoring. And Hastings' own George Skrelja, who's also one of the top scorers. But it's not just an individual battle. It's a battle of two of the top Class C teams here.
Well, Joe, this game also has seeding ramifications. I'm not sure if you touched on that or not, but Hastings goes into this game 19-0. They have a half-game lead on, actually a full-game lead on the Croton-Harmon Tigers, who are 18-1. The North Salem Tigers are 17-2, and they have a full-game lead on the Briarcliff Bears for the third seed in the section. So it's going to be an interesting ball game. If North Salem wins, they guarantee themselves the third seed in the section. If Hastings wins, they guarantee themselves the first seed in the section. If either of them lose, it's going to come down to a tiebreaker as far as who gets what seed. Now, why is that important, Joe? It's important for this reason. Most likely, there are only going to be 12 or 13 teams entering the sectional playoffs. That means either the first 3 seeds or the first 4 seeds in the section will get byes for that first round. So, if there's only 3 teams getting the seed, you don't want to be the 4th seed. You have to play that extra game. You never know what can happen. Most likely, a matchup between the 4th seed and the 12th seed, the 4th seed's going to come out on top. But this year, the way it's worked out so far in Section 1, you're going to have a tough opponent that first round, the 12th seed. It's going to be maybe an Alexander Hamilton, maybe a Woodlands Falcons, somebody like that who finished the season up 7-12 or 7-11. Those are quality basketball teams that could beat you in the first round.
Well, Hastings, if they win, will definitely have the number 1 seed. And if they lose, at worst, they'll be the 2 seed. North Salem is playing for that 2, 3, 4 slot. So a win for them in terms of the seedings is most important. But you're going to expect to see both those teams deep in the sectionals, and there's a very good chance that you may see Hastings North Salem play again in either a semifinal matchup or in a final matchup in the county center. But both teams are short of a high seed. They're going to have a first or second round home. That is definitely going to happen. But both teams are looking to play the last game well, try to get some momentum going into the playoffs. You always want to win your last regular season game going to the playoffs. You have a good feel. They're going to have a week or week and a half off between their next game, and you don't want to have that loss lingering for a week, week and a half. That's a tough thing to overcome. Of course, Hastings is going for an undefeated season. As far as we know, it would be the first one in the history of Hastings High School. Our records we haven't come up with any other undefeated teams. We could be wrong, but an undefeated season, Keith, at 20-0 is a fabulous accomplishment.
Yeah, Joe, I put a call into former head coach John Costello, who coached at Hastings from the early 60s until the early 90s. His people haven't gotten back to my people yet, so we haven't been able to confirm that this would be the first undefeated team in school history. But you and I both go back to watching these teams play since the early 80s, and I know there's never been a team that's been undefeated since the early 80s. So as far as the 25 years goes, this would be the first team, before any of these players were born, that would ever go undefeated. So just the fact that you're undefeated in basketball says such a lot because you do play so many games.
Well, Keith, let's talk about how Hastings can defeat North Salem and North Salem can defeat Hastings. I mean, you're talking about one undefeated team. You're talking about a team with only 2 losses, and those 2 losses were to schools much larger than North Salem. North Salem lost to Yorktown and lost to Suffern. And the key fact about both those teams were, number one, they're A schools. They're a large population. They have many more students. And the second is they both had big front lines. So it looks like North Salem would have trouble with a big front line, and Hastings doesn't have that. So, Keith, how do you think North Salem can defeat Hastings?
Well, that's a good point. As far as North Salem goes, you know, they did have those 2 losses. They lost to Suffern. They go 6-6, 6-8. They lost to Yorktown. They go 6-5, 6-5, 6-4. And the loss to Yorktown was by a point, 66-65.
So that's a, you know, they're 17-2. That's a quality 17-2.
Absolutely. Now, what North Salem's going to look to do is play a classic 2-man game. They have 5'11" Mike DePaoli. His shot is when he walks in the gym. He feels he's open. As soon as he steps underneath the roof, he's ready to launch, and he's going to be good. He has unlimited range. He's an excellent 3-point shooter. North Salem so far on the year has made 71 3-pointers. He has 52 of them. So basically, if North Salem's going to take a 3-point shot, it's going to be from DePaoli. Then they have 6'7". They have 6'7" Chris Morley on the inside, and he's a force to go on the inside. What they're going to do is try and look to pound him inside early, try and establish that inside game, get Hastings to sulk to the inside, to collapse to the inside, to try and shut Morley down, who he's averaging 14.5 points per game. Then they're going to kick it back outside to DePaoli, who's, like you said, the leading scorer in Section 1 right now, average-wise, at 25.3.
I think Hastings, Keith, will present a little more balanced offensive attack. Obviously, it revolves around George Skrelja, one of the top scorers in the county, a few points behind DePaoli. But with Segru, Blake, and the younger Skrelja, and Joe Flattery, a little more balanced attack. It'll be interesting, the balanced attack of Hastings versus the 2-man attack of North Salem.
It is going to be very interesting, and we will be right back with the national anthem and the starting lineups. Record. Okay, we're going to have the starting lineups then, the national anthem for you. Tonight's officials are Ed Felix and Rich Sullivan. They will be blowing all the whistles for you for tonight's action. And here are the starting lineups. Well, a little delay here, Joe, while they forgot to give the Hastings starting lineup to the announcer. So that's what we're waiting on here now. But the crowds are already starting to get into it, Joe, as the Hastings crowd is getting their chant going. North Salem coming right back with a boo cheer of their own.
It's definitely an electrifying atmosphere tonight here, Keith. It was senior night here for North Salem, so it's a special evening for them. So you get both teams heading into the sectionals. They want to head out on a high. Saturday night, it's a great atmosphere for high school basketball.
Yeah, this is a classic small school, high school basketball atmosphere. Coach Ward touched on that on our last broadcast when we had the interview with him. So he was very excited for this ball game. And I mean, if Coach Ward gets any more excited, he's going to be jumping out of the gym. The guy, you know, he's the first guy to lead the cheers for the crowd, everything like that. And he's very into his basketball. And it's going to be interesting to see how he, along with his team, reacts to this atmosphere. Jacob, if we could film the starters as they come out, get a shot of them.
temperature of the thing.
Oh. Now it's... Well, there you have it, Joe. From what we could hear, I guess those were the starting lineups. This PA system's kind of weak here, but why don't you bring us through what the starting lineups would have been had we heard it?
Okay, Keith, I'm sure everyone heard that electric crowd, very loud. PA system's not working too well. For North Salem, number 15, Mike DePaoli. Number 22, Chris Morley. Number 20, Jamie DeMauro. Number 10, Mike Gregory. And number 30, Pat Badia. That's the starting five for the Tigers of North Salem.
Yeah, and loyal HOH viewers will know the starting lineup for Hastings. 21, George Skrelja, 20, Chris Skrelja, 5, Jim Segru, 4, Dan Blake, and the man, the myth, the legend, number 30, your friend and mine, Joe Flaherty. So we're set for the tip-off, Joe. It's going to be Skrelja versus Morley. And Ed Felix will throw up the ball for the tap. Looks like Skrelja won it, tapped it to his brother Chris, and Hastings will go through their offense for the first time tonight. Crowd already getting into it, very loud here. Skrelja looking to drive, there was nothing there, so he kicked it outside to Segru, and he promptly turns it over to DePaoli, who gives it right back to Segru, up ahead to Flaherty, and there goes Joe Flaherty showing his receiver skills.
Keith, that reminds me of the autumn days. Joe Flaherty, one of our top receivers this year, did a nice job of catching the ball from a pretty pass from Jimmy Segru.
And there's DePaoli firing away right away. His shot from 3, no good. So it's going to be Hastings basketball. We're here early, 7:19 remaining, 2-0 Hastings.
Looked like, Keith, that North Salem came out the first round in a tight man-to-man defense. It looked like they're still in that man-to-man defense.
They got Badia on Skrelja. Let's see if the 6'3" senior can hang with Skrelja as they look to isolate him. And Skrelja does what he does best. Beautiful look inside to his brother Chris. But Rich Sullivan thought that Chris Skrelja had the offensive foul, and that's what he called.
Looked like DeMauro took the charge as Morley got the block. Big collision underneath. Hastings out in their standard full court pressure.
And they get the ball in the hands of DePaoli, who promptly breaks it, pulls up for a 16-footer, no good. He gets his own rebound. So DePaoli drives the lane, and he traveled before running into Joe Flaherty. And we'll look for that injury to see if that affects Joe at all.
Joe's a tough kid, Keith. It was just a shoulder into the gut. He'll be fine. Joe caused the travel by getting position and making DePaoli stop. You can see, however, that DePaoli's quite an athlete. He's 5'10", but he's very muscular, very quick.
Hastings tries to force the ball inside to Skrelja, no good. Morley brings it up the court, and he picks up the quick foul.
There was Danny Blake sacrificing the body for the good of the team.
So Hastings running their man-to-man offense, what Coach Chris Ward likes to call set one. It's going to be a pick and roll with Segru and Skrelja. They get it down low to George. He elevates, and he makes it for two.
That's what George Skrelja's been doing all year, Keith. He creates underneath the basket. North Salem played good defense there, but George created and made the bucket.
Right there, Morley brings up the ball for a big man at 6'7", but it looks like Hastings caused some problems to him on offense, trying to dribble the ball, but he was able to get free and give it up to Badia and Gregory. Try and get it inside, and I think nerves are playing a factor here as North Salem is just coming discombobulated on the offensive end, Joe.
Well, you know, it's senior night. It's a packed crowd, their home crowd. It's early in the game. I'm sure they'll settle down and play a little more discipline on offense.
So Segru's setting the offense for Hastings. Trying to look for Skrelja down low on a pick and roll. He gets it. Tries to go up against Badia. And Joe, this is going to be a mismatch I look for all game long, because I don't think Pat Badia can cover George Skrelja one-on-one.
Well, it looks like Coach Sassoon is making a substitution here. You might have thought that Morley at 6'6", 6'7" would be covering George Skrelja. Maybe they want to try to keep him out of foul trouble so he can concentrate on the offensive end. It'll be interesting to see how the matchups go as the game goes on.
Joe, that's a great point, and you mentioned that's why it was so big that Danny Blake stepped in front of Morley. He picked up the offensive foul. Skrelja nails the second of two, so it's Hastings 5, North Salem nothing, 5:30 remaining in the first.
With a block foul on Danny Blake, deep in the backcourt of North Salem. Hastings again likes that full court pressure.
2 team fouls on each team. As Morley's going to get it and dribble it, try and break the press one-on-one. He swings it across to the poly. Ooh, and they looked like they had Morley trapped, but he showed his athleticism, got free, and Badia converts for 2.
Keith, Morley's not your average 6'6" big man. Most big 6'6" kids in Class C would be a low post player. You can see he's got ball handling skills and passing skills. He can play up and down the court.
Travel call there. Was a fight for the basketball, and you see Joe Flaherty show the athleticism. He was plastered underneath the basket waiting for the short rebound. It was long. He showed the athleticism to shift his body weight, get out, and tip that away from the North Salem defender, which caused him to walk with the basketball. So Hastings will set their offense. They got George Skrelja on the wing, looking to shoot for 3, no good. And Morley came down with the rebound. That's Gregory in the corner, swings it across to Morley. And Morley had no help, was forced to throw the ball out of bounds. And again, that's some tough defense by Hastings, Joe.
Skrelja and Flaherty on the trap did a nice job, forced the big man to throw the ball away. It seems that Morley has brought the ball up more than any other player on North Salem.
Well, that's how North Salem likes to break their press. They feel like, and against a man-to-man press, that Morley can beat anybody tall enough to guard him off the dribble. And Segru nails it from 3. And if it's a zone defense, a zone trap, Morley's tall enough to see over the top of the zone. So DePauli looked to do too much there, but they don't look past, and Segru picked it off. Ahead to Blake for a layup for 2. And Hastings goes on a quick 5-0 run and has a 10-2 lead with 4:03 remaining in the first.
Coach Sassoon does the right thing, calls a quick 30-second timeout just to try to slow Hastings down, slow the momentum down. 4:03 left first quarter. Hastings 10, North Salem 2. Jimmy Segru showing excellent athleticism on both ends of the court. He sinks to 3, hustle backs, and makes the steal on defense, and makes a picture-perfect pass to Dan Blake for the easy layup.
Yeah, John, I kind of got a little long-winded there explaining how Morley beats the press, but basically, against man-to-man, he beats the guy off the dribble. Against the zone, he sees over the top and passes it in. But I think so far what you see tonight is a Hastings team that's playing within themselves. They're doing what they did to get here to be 19-0. On the other hand, North Salem looks like they're trying to do too much. Chris Morley, ball handling the ball over the court. DePauli making no-look passes when he should be shooting the basketball. They're trying to play above their heads. They haven't been successful. They're trailing 10-2. So they get it into Morley, who tries to break the zone. He gets it into Gregory. Swings it in the corner to Badia. He drives and dumps it down into, that's Laughlin, Ryan Laughlin, and he gets his 2, so it's 10-4.
Now North Salem gets out of the man-to-man and plays a half-court 1-2-2. Wow, Keith, that's the third offensive foul of the game so far in the first 4.5 minutes.
So turnover by Dan Blake. It'll be North Salem basketball as they try and set the offense up, and that's Jamie DeMoro looking to get things started. He swings it across to Badia, and it gets into DePauli's hands. He didn't like what he saw, tried to pull up for 2, and no good. And here comes George Skrelja on the other end, breaking out. And what a move by Skrelja, couldn't convert. And that's an excellent call by Sullivan. DePauli had the defender in front of him. That was Chris Skrelja. And Chris Skrelja caused DePauli to walk on that. Nice job defensively by Chris. So Segru swings it across to Blake. Hastings looking to run their offense. They're going to remain patient. Try and get open looks from 3. Segru tried to shoot it over Morley, and Morley swats it out of bounds.
Morley's done a nice job underneath the basket. He's deflected or redirected 2 or 3 shots already tonight, and that has an effect as the game goes on.
Well, Joe, I saw Jimmy take a quick look at Chris Ward, and he looked at Coach, and he went, pump fake and put it up on the floor. Coach Ward said, yeah, so look for that later in the game. Pump fake, get Morley on his feet, and drive right around him.
And Morley just stole the ball on the inbound pass, creating the turnover for Salem.
So North Salem will have it. They still trail 10-4. 2:50 remaining in this fast-paced, high-intensity first quarter. Morley gets it for the 10-footer, no good. Looked like Pat Batty was over the back, no call. And Segru gets it up ahead to George Skrelja for the dunk! Georgie Skrelja dunking over Gregory. And Hastings has their 12-4 lead.
Wow, Keith, Jimmy Segru once again with a beautiful long court pass, and Skrelja with the dunk.
Beautiful. And Badia promptly throws up an air ball, and we're going to have a foul called on Laughlin. That'll be his first foul. That's a team 3rd foul.
That's not a good foul in the backcourt there, Keith.
What a message George Skrelja just sent to the North Salem faithful here, quieting them with that tremendous one-handed dunk. And the thing that impressed me is how he exploded to the rim.
I remember one time I did that playing Nerf.
On a 4-foot rim?
Well, it was 5.5 feet. It was explosive, however.
All right, so Segru looking to get the offense started. George Skrelja gives a post down low. He gets the open 10-footer, no good. Look at that, Joe Flaherty fighting 3 North Salem Tigers. Couldn't come over with the rebound, and DePauli has it on the other end. Hastings doing a nice job defending DePauli, and except for those 2 quick early shots, he has not been able to get a shot off. And the thing that I like that Coach Ward has done, he put 6'3" Chris Skrelja on 5'11" DePauli. And if you remember last year's game, they had Blake and Segru trying to guard DePauli. Blake and Segru were both DePauli's height, and DePauli was able to get his shot off against the taller 6'3" Skrelja. He hasn't been able to do that yet tonight. So Gregory over to Morley for the open 15-footer. It's good. And North Salem trails 12-6.
You can see, Keith, North Salem was just too talented, too athletic for Hastings to pull away right here. This is going to be a great game the whole way.
Now that offensive play right there is called set 3. which is basically what happens is Jimmy Segru gets the ball, swings it across to a flashing Chris Skrelja at the top of the key, and he looks to dump it down low to George Skrelja, who pins his man and either gets a turnaround jump shot, or if he can put the man in front of him, he lobs it over the top and he gets an easy layup like you saw that time. George Skrelja already has 7 of the 14 Hastings points, make that 8 of their 15. And he finishes off the three-point play.
Good sign, Keith. He's 2 for 3 from the foul line right now.
Hastings showing their trademark half-court press, causing some problems for the Tigers. Morley has it, tries to go baseline, and we're going to get him. We got a foul call on George Skrelja, trying to fight through the zone, try through the pick. That's Jeff Kantak checking in the ball game. He's in for Ryan Laughlin.
Well, Hastings is playing great defense, Keith. North Salem was not getting a lot of good looks.
And that's Badia driving through the lane. He got the open look, and Chris Skrelja came from behind, fouled him, not hard enough, and Kantak gets the bucket.
But Kantak checks in the game and immediately makes some impact coming off the bench. 1:15 to go, Keith. First quarter, 15-8 Hastings.
Kantak showing a nice shooting touch, no good, out of bounds on Badia. So it's going to be Yellow Jacket basketball. .115, like you said, remaining, Joe. Hastings with a 15-8 lead. Trying to extend their 7-point lead to 9 here as Segru sets up the offense. And again, there's that set 3 play, and George Skrelja has it down low. Soft off the board, no good. Rebound by Kantak, and North Salem will come out looking to run. Gregory has it across to Morley for the open 17-footer, no good. Skrelja gives it up,
behind you,
and Hastings will start their offense now. Hastings showing some patience on offense, looking to get the open 3 or pound it down into George. Coach Ward yelling at the play, he wants set 2, which again is the pick and roll. Trying to get either Jimmy Segru open for a 3 or George open for a layup. Blake for a long 3. No good. Rebound, Flaherty. Nice call by Ed Felix there for the jump ball. And it was a nice job by Joe Flaherty fighting inside, got the rebound, just brought it down low like you shouldn't do and got tied up.
12.6 seconds to go here in the quarter.
North Salem looking to set their offense, and they do with Morley. He gets it for Badia for 3. No good. Kantak gets the rebound. No good. So an exciting first quarter here. Fast-paced, high intensity. The crowd is still electric, and Hastings has that 15-8 lead.
Keith, I think one of the reasons this is an enjoyable game to watch right now is the fact that these are 2 good basketball teams. Both teams put 5 quality athletes on the court at all times. You can see everybody can handle the ball, everybody can play defense. The quickness, we're right here, we're right on top of the court. The quickness is phenomenal. It makes for a very interesting, exciting matchup.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, basically, I'm a little surprised at North Salem. I thought, you know, they would come in a little bit more composed, play within themselves. They do have the home crowd. Maybe that's working against them a little bit. They're so juiced up. I think they're trying to do a little bit too much. They're trying to play a little bit over their heads, trying to do the things now that didn't get him here. You know, I think what got him here was Morley being athletic, handling the ball, driving to the basket, trying to get some layups. He hasn't done that yet. He's been content to taking 15-foot, 17-foot jump shots. And where's Mike DePaoli? Guy hasn't shown up yet. He's scoreless. He's 0 for 3 from the floor, and he just hasn't come to play yet.
Well, obviously, you shut down DePaoli, you're going to have a good chance to beat North Salem. Obviously, he's their top player. So North Salem's going to come out and start. Both coaches are mixing up the defenses. North Salem comes out in full court pressure, man-to-man.
Jimmy Segru promptly gives it up to George, who shows his athleticism and lays it in for 2. And Hastings going to that full court trap. They're trying to get Morley to dribble the basketball into a corner. He won't do it. He gives up to Gregory. And up to DePauli. No good. Rebound, Flaherty. Hastings looking to set their offense up. And again, they have that 17-8 lead. Segru to Flaherty for two. And it's 19-8 Hastings.
Jimmy Screw's having an outstanding game. That's about his fourth or fifth assist that has led to easy layup baskets.
So North Salem setting their offense. That's can attack for the open 8-footer. And you can see he's just not a shooter. He missed that first shot.
Hastings will let him shoot all day.
Blake for three, no good. Looked like Flaherty got away with a foul there, no call, and DePauli has it going the other way. And Mike DePauli's got his first 2 points of the game, 19-10 Hastings.
Yeah, Cantak's in there to play defense versus Skrelja.
So Hastings looking to set their offense. That's a pick and roll with Segru. Back out to Skrelja for the open three. In and out, no good. Tipped out by Flaherty to Segru. Fight on the floor, and Skrelja comes up with it. Nice fake by Skrelja, no good. And Morley comes down with the rebound. Gregory setting the offense for North Salem. Beats Blake off the dribble. No good, tipped up by Skrelja, and he makes the rebound. Back and forth game here. Now Chris Skrelja for two.
Excellent fast break opportunity there. Rebound, push up court. Danny Blake attacked the basket, made DePauli take him. Nice bounce pass to Chris Skrelja for the easy layup. Keith, when you're shooting layup, you're going to make a lot of them, and you're going to score points. Hastings has made a lot of baskets from underneath on layups and inside the paint, and it's an easy game. When they have difficulty, if you remember when they played Leak and Watts, they have to shoot from the perimeter. Hey, any college level NBA, you got to shoot from the perimeter consistently. It's tough. Hastings has a lot of easy baskets because of outstanding passing.
They're doing a very good job showing some patience on the perimeter, like I like to say. Getting open looks from three. They haven't needed that because they've been able to get the ball down deep, either the Skrelja, Flaherty, or Chris Skrelja down low, and it's been a very successful combination, a very good recipe for success for Hastings so far.
Keith, we haven't mentioned that doing the book for Hastings, one of the best scorekeepers in the county, Jackie Martin, a 10th grader. She does an outstanding job for Coach Ward, and Coach Harrington never makes a mistake and doesn't have to take her shoes off to count to 20.
I'd also like to express my congratulations. She just had her 16th birthday. You loyal readers of the Enterprise, if you read the letters to the editor section, her parents thanked the community and said that the kids of today get a bad rap because they had about 190 kids at Jackie's party. She's very popular.
How come we weren't invited?
I got my invitation, Joe. I couldn't make it. I don't know about you. All right, back to action. Morley driving to the lane. We're going to get a blocking foul on Flaherty. That's his first foul tonight.
Joe got there a little late, tried to get the charge, but he just got there a second late. Good call by the referee.
And Coach Sassoni, off the timeout, told the Tigers to go back to what they would do best, and that's have Morley drive to the paint and DePauli hit from the outside. Mike DePauli on the floor, grabbing for the basketball. So DePauli was on the floor, had to call timeout, so he burned one there, and Hastings still has a 21-10 lead.
That's North Salem, I believe, third timeout. They had to call the timeout early to kind of stop the bleeding. That was a 30-second. Have they called three timeouts there, Keith?
Yes, they have.
They only have 3 left. I think they have 2 full and a 30 left.
That's correct.
And that could come back, in a game like this when you're behind. Obviously, they're down by 11 here. It's going to take some time to come back. In the fourth quarter, when they want some timeouts, they may not have them.
All right, so it's going to be North Salem basketball. They'll look to inbound it. It's going to be Cantak with the inbounds. Badia open, but Flaherty comes over, plays a nice job on defense, and he stopped Badia from taking the shot, so North Salem has to start their offense from almost at half court. That's DeMario, open for three, no good, gets his own rebound, puts it up, off the glass, no good. DeMario kicks it out to Morley for three, and he nails it. Joe, I just wanted to mention the crowd a little bit. Right now, North Salem has a large percentage of their student body on their half of the gym, so they get a lot of fans cheering. Hastings, on the other hand, their half of the gym split pretty much half and half between student body and parents. Parents tend not to yell and scream a lot. They just want to come here and watch the basketball game. So that's why when Hastings does something positive, you hear half the cheer of North Salem. We're going to get those parents yelling and screaming.
There's George Skrelja on the steal after scoring a basket.
Segru no good. Rebound Blake. He was looking to take the three. Didn't like the shot. So he swings it around to George Skrelja. To Segru for two, I believe, because his foot was on the line. It was no good. Rebound by Morley.
So Hastings up 23-13 with 4.5 minutes to go, second quarter.
And I tell you what, Joe, I got on Mike DePauli earlier about not coming to play. I'm mistaken. I think it's Chris Skrelja came to play, and he's completely shutting DePauli down. He did a nice job denying the basketball there, slapped it away. And Mike DePauli and Chris Skrelja were grabbing each other. The official, Rich Sullivan, pulled them both aside and gave him a stern talking to, told him to cut the horse malarkey out and just play basketball. The shenanigans, as Coach Massett likes to say, and just play basketball. So DeMario starts his offense, gets it around to Badia. He gets it right back and hits for two. So, Joe, that timeout is well worth it, as North Salem has trimmed the lead down to 8 from 11. And Segru looking to set the offense for Hastings. Hastings showing some nice patience, swinging it around, trying to get the open look. It doesn't look like Jimmy Segru could beat DePauli off the dribble, although he's trying. He got DePauli back on his heels, pulled up for the jumper, and it was no good. Rebound DeMario. Jump stop in the lane, tries to take the shot, and he's fouled right there, I believe, by Jimmy Segru. So that's Segru's first foul of the game.
It looks like Kiso for the body has been the best offensive player for North Salem. And that plays in the Hastings' hands.
Definitely. Pat Badia is only averaging 5.2 points per game so far. He's been the most active on the offensive end, along with DeMario. DeMario is the third leading scorer on the team. He averages 8 points a game. And that foul shot makes it 3 for him on the night so far.
I think going into the game, if you're Hastings, you're saying let DeMario, let Badia beat you. If they can do it, you tip their hat to him.
No, absolutely, Joe. That's definitely what you would look for if you're Hastings. Nice hustle by DeMario there, but it's going to be Hastings basketball. Colin Powers checking in the game for Jimmy Segru. Check that, that's for Joe Flaherty. So it's going to be Hastings basketball, 3:28 remaining in the half. Hastings on top, 23-16. And Colin Powers will be running the show from the point guard spot.
This puts Segru in a shooting guard position.
Right now, Hastings basically has 4 guards on the floor, along with the point forward, George Skrelja. They got Chris Skrelja, Jimmy Segru, Danny Blake, and Colin Powers on the floor. George did a nice job drawing the foul there. It looked like maybe he could have had a couple of more dribbles towards the basket, pulled up for 10. That foul was on Ken Ruda, who's checked in the ball game.
Jimmy, you're on the ball! Chris, you're back!
George missed the first one. Oh, he made that one. I apologize. I was ahead of myself. Made the first, missed the second. So it's 24-16, Hastings on top. DeMario looking to set the offense, trying to get the ball to Badia. Can't do it, so he gets it into Ruda. No good. Looked like there might have been a foul on the play. No call, but it's out of bounds on Hastings. So we have Ruda, DeMario, DePauli, Morley, and Badia on the floor for the Tigers. And Morley has it top of the key, guarded by George Skrelja. Morley looking to operate. Can't do it. Jimmy Segru poked it away off Morley's thigh, and it's going to be Hastings basketball.
Chris, Keith, obviously we have not seen North Salem play all year, but I got to wonder if Morley handles the ball this much in their other games. I think they've taken DePauli right out of the game, which is obviously positive for Hastings.
And another positive for Hastings is them showing patience on offense, which they're doing now. They're looking to set it. Hastings doing a good job showing some patience. They got the ball down deep to Skrelja. He didn't have anything, kicked it back out. Blake turned it over, but nice defense by Chris Skrelja. And North Salem can't convert. Finally, Morley does after getting fouled by Blake. Things not going really well for Hastings right now. And it looks like right now that Hastings is getting no calls from the officials. Down low, Chris Morley just had the ball, took 2 shots, got a foul. George had the ball. There's 3 guys around him all slapping at his arms. He's not getting that call. Morley comes up short on that one, and Hastings has a 24. They turn the ball over. And just like that, North Salem's within 4. And now the North Salem crowd gets into it, the defense chant. Hastings trying to run their offense. Shot by Segru, no good. And North Salem comes right back the other end. DePauli fouled on the drive.
That's a good foul, Keith. Hastings only has 5 team fouls, so it'll be out of bounds. It was before the shot. What? They're calling out on the shot?
On the shot?
I missed
yeah. Check that. Coach was looking at the scoreboard, thought we were the home team. That was our 9th team foul, so they will be shooting 1-on-1. And DePauli gets his 3rd point of the evening.
It was still a good foul. Colin doesn't have to worry about foul trouble. And they only got 1 point out of it. Good foul.
George elevates to the rebound, and he'll set the offense for Hastings. He's looking to break Ruda down. And DePauli stuck his hands in there, got the tie-up. And it's going to be North Salem basketball.
The 3-point game here with 1:23 to go, 2nd quarter. You knew North Salem was going to get in this game. They're just too good, Keith.
Well, I tell you what, the key so far by Coach Sassoni was to bring in Ruda. Because so far, he's been the one checking George Skrelja, and Skrelja hasn't done anything since Ruda came in the ballgame.
Segru got his hand in there, knocked the ball away, but it was off of him. Referee's rule.
Badia for the layup, and it's going to be no good. Rebound by Segru. A lot of bumping, a lot of physical play, letting go by the referees. As Hastings comes and tries to set their offense. How that's not a foul on DePauli, I'll never know. He climbed over Colin Powers back to get to the basketball, and I could see from here all the way across the court, flesh on flesh. I can clearly see DePauli's hand on Powers' arm. No call by the official, but it'll still be Hastings basketball. So Hastings looking to set their offense. Chris Skrelja looking at, and there we go. And the physical play by the Tigers, it's finally called, and that'll be on Ruda. And that's his 2nd foul.
What number is that, Keith?
That's number 24, Ken Ruda. And he's the one that's been shutting George down so far. So Segru will inbound with 51 seconds remaining in the half. George Scruggs looking to post up. Chris Scruggs for the open look, no good. Looked like it was over the back on Colin Powers, no call, so North Salem has the ball. Morley looking to operate, drives the lane, kicks it out to Gregory for three, and it's only a two. His foot was on the line. That was Jamie DeMoro for two, so it's 24-23. Hastings clinging to a one-point lead. Segru for three, no good. Rebound by Morley. Morley ahead to Ruda, and he's going to be an offensive foul. Nice job by Powers, establishing position, and that's Ruda's third foul.
Keith, Colin Powers is outstanding at drawing the offensive charge. He gets one. He seems to get one a game. Does an outstanding job, sacrifice the body. He understands the game, understands the flow. He sees where the offense is attacking. He steps in, gets position, and takes the charge.
Coach Ward, using his 30-second timeout, wants to set up a play with 1.8 seconds remaining in the half. He's got a one-point lead here. So barring a turnover and some kind of crazy shenanigans, Hastings will go in with at least a one-point lead at halftime. But considering they had a 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter, right? 15-8, I believe the score was. It was 15. So if you're Hastings, I'm not going to be happy with my second quarter performance.
Well, Keith, definitely a tale of two quarters. Hastings had the better of the play the first quarter. North Salem with the better play the second quarter. And it's going to be a pretty even game going into halftime.
So as Chris Scruggs inbounds to Segru, he turns around for the shot. Wild shot, no good. So we go into halftime with the score 24-23. North Salem on top.
Well, Keith, this is what you expect when you got two of the top teams in Section 1 Class C. 24-23 at halftime, a packed gym, a lot of excitement to come.
And I tell you what, Joe, both teams well below their scoring averages so far. I mean, it's 24-23, and basically that's a first quarter score for both these teams. Hastings averages 19 points per first quarter, North Salem at 18 points. And, you know, so the defense and the nerves took over a little bit, but I think they started to get into the flow in the second quarter, and I'm going to look for more of the same in the second half.
Well, Hastings done a great job shutting down Mike DePaoli, the leading scorer for North Salem, leading scorer in the section. But they're showing good balance. Other players are stepping up, and they did a great job in the second quarter of slowing Hastings down and putting some points on the board.
They definitely did. We are going to be right back with second half action. Exactly. No, I think he's there. Max, can you hear me?
Better that way.
Max, raise your hand if you can hear me. Atta boy.
Tell Mr. Capuano to sit down.
Tell the ugly guy in front of you to sit. There we go. All right, Max, you ready? You gonna turn it on? Let us know when you turn it on. All right, sports fans, we're here for second half action. And like we said earlier, it was a tale of two quarters. Like the old novel, Joe, Tale of Two Cities.
Charles Dickens.
Yep, Tale of Two Cities, Tale of Two Quarters. Hastings came out, played a great first quarter. North Salem played a great second quarter. And here we go, 24-23.
Well, just what you expect. You said two excellent teams. It should be a fun second half. I think North Salem is looking to try to get Mike DePaoli a little more into the flow, a couple more touches, a couple more shots on the offensive end.
Well, that's what I would look to do. He only had 3 points. He's averaging 25.3. And Hastings showing some patience on offense. Finally get it down low to Skrelja. There's no foul call on that. I don't understand where there was no foul. George went up. I don't know. He didn't release it either, but shot was no good, so it was a jump ball, and it's going to be North Salem basketball.
Hastings did a good job of getting the ball down deep to George, and he went up, and no foul, jump ball.
Yeah, Morley flashing through the post right there. Gets the ball, goes up for a shot. It's going to be a blocking foul on Chris Skrelja.
Keith, I was talking to some people from North Salem at the halftime break, and Chris Morley is what you'd call a point forward. He does handle the ball a lot in the North Salem offense. This is normal procedure.
So it's SOP, standing operating procedure for the North Salem Tigers.
Just obviously that they like to get the Poly some more shots.
Morley misses his first. He's 0 for 2 from the line tonight. He misses his second. Rebound by George Skrelja. So Skrelja looking to penetrate, get things started. Almost turns it over, but Chris comes up with it. Back out to George. Looking to drive the lane. I don't understand why that's not a reaching foul by DePauli, because George is trying to dribble. DePauli's stopping his momentum from dribbling. Again, Hastings tried to bounce pass it to George, and Morley came up with the pick. Nice call. Nice play by Dan Blake. Got the offensive foul call. But that might have been a little bit of Coach Ward getting in Sullivan's ear a little earlier tonight.
Dan held his position just at a great angle, Keith. He just flipped the hip out just a little to get contact.
So that's Morley's second foul on the evening. Nobody scored yet in this third quarter. 7 minutes remaining. Hastings looking to set the offense. Flaherty has the foul line.
That's the old Meadowlark Lemon position.
Yeah. Skrelja, nice dish to Flaherty for 2.
Yeah.
That's Flaherty's 6th point of the evening. North Salem looking to set their offense. They get a turnover there, and Skrelja comes up with it. George with a dribble penetration. He'll take the 12-footer, no good. And it's going to be Hastings basketball. Mike Gregory back on the floor for the Tigers. That's their starting lineup. Gregory only played about 6 minutes in that first half, as a plethora of Tigers came in to try and shut down Skrelja. Body is checking him, and he just can't check George. Traveling violation called, and that was just, I think, George trying a little bit too much with the basketball. So North Salem, Gregory going to set the offense. Gets it across to DePauli. He looks to drive. Tries to get up to Morley, but the good Hastings defense knocks it away. And Skrelja will drive the lane, and it's good. Nice job by George Skrelja elevating over Morley there.
Hey, Gregory did a nice job. Made George redirect, but George is so tough underneath the basket.
So DeMaria has it in the corner. All the way across the body. Flaherty tries to play D. But Badia lays it up and in for his 4th point.
So North Salem in their man-to-man half-court defense right now.
Ooh. Blake looked like he was going to take the open 3. 2 Tigers came charging out, so he put the ball on the floor, took the 15-footer, and it was good.
You think they scouted Hastings, Keith? Do you think they know Dan Blake's a deadly 3-point shooter? They came flying out there. But it opened up a nice, easy shot for Dan later on.
Nice job of dribble penetration by Gregory. He gave it up to Badia, but Badia couldn't convert with 2 looks at it. And Hastings rebounded it, and they'll kick it back out to Skrelja for 3. And it's good! Georgie Skrelja nails the 3, and Hastings on top, 33-25.
Hastings crowd really getting into it. You can barely hear yourself talk right now.
Joe Flaherty doing a nice job playing defense, couldn't come down with it, and Badia answers with 2.
Again, Chief, though, total absence of Mike Capaldi in the Tiger offense.
The Yellow Jackets have done a really good job. Chris Skrelja has done a very good job shutting DePauli out. He's only got 3 on the night. DePauli is playing good defense, though, on Segru, and he's not letting Jimmy penetrate. It was an errant shot out there by by Chris Skrelja, no good. And we come back down the other end. Gregory, that's DeMario. He drives for 2.
And Tigers answer right back with 2 unanswered baskets, 33-29. A little less than a half to go in the third quarter.
So Hastings trying to show some patience on offense, get things set. And I was going to say, Skrelja got absolutely mugged on that. If there was no foul call, something was wrong.
Had Skrelja trapped the corner, got a little too aggressive with the foul. To check in for Hastings, Josh Snyder for Joe Flattery, and number 21, Ryan Laughlin checking in for the